All right, welcome in. It is the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. I think it's episode 104. Is that right? Does
Three.
that sound right? I think it is 103. Okay. Hard to
103.
keep track. I kind of debating here if we even want to keep counting them. I thought the 100 was cool because we could do some able to name episodes after certain players. Now it's like it's just getting tough to think of names or redoing it and reusing them. Might have to go back and try to remember and look and see what we had for each episode and named it. But the college footballs. Go ahead, Grant.
I was just going to say, you could say, hey, it's 103. And, instead of using whoever used last time for 103, be like, hey, let's, now use another 3 this time and be like, hey, it's the Jeff George episode when he was in Washington, the Redskin Ram.
Yes, the Redskin Ram, the Warren Central product, who was, I believe, teammates with Jason Whitlock. And
Whitlock talks about him as how they're essentially best friends.
Yeah, well, he talked about how he's like one of the most talented, and he's going to defend him till he dies.
Yeah,
and but last week we said this was a loaded week of football as November ramps up. It's separation Saturday for the next 4 weeks, and we had some great games in college, great games in the NFL. But before we get to that, Grant, the Trinity Titans are going to state. Now, we beat the defending state champions up in Velva. They're a tremendous team. They were undefeated like us going into the year. And let me tell you, man, the week leading up to that, it could not have gone any slower. It was just like it took forever to get to Saturday. I actually was surprised. I actually slept pretty well for it being like this game. Our kids are just so focused, so locked in. They don't, they knew what was at stake. They were ready. We felt like we had a good week, but you're going into uncharted territory. It's a little bit of an unknown. You don't know how things are going to go because it's got to be settled in between the lines. And, it's about a 3-hour bus ride. It felt like 5. And then we get there. We usually get to the school about 2 hours early. We get there. That felt like 4 hours. We get to the field about probably 40 minutes before kickoff. That felt like an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
We get to the game. Game kicks off, and credit to Velva. It was a heck of it was like a hybrid squib onside kick type of deal where it just took a nasty hop. Guy tries to jump on it. They recover it, and it was. Here we go again, because this was before I was coaching at Trinity, but they had there was something similar like this that happened in their other 2 semifinal games or in playoff games that we have lost, where it's just we get off to a terrible start and it just snowballs, lose by a bunch, and then they go down and score that first drive, and it's like, all right, but like I said, resilient bunch of kids we have. They came back. They answered the bell. They converted 2 4th and 8s on the opening drive. We go down. We score. It 7-8. And then on the defensive side, we get a stop. They go for it on a 4th and 2. We stop them. We go down and score. And we get to we're up 24 to 8. And they score. And we go down and they stop us right before the half is over. And this was from when I was a freshman. We were up against Fargo Shanley 14-0, and we had a chance to go up 21-0. They get a goal line stand. They come back, and and they say that end up losing that game, and they get the ball to start the second. Velva gets the ball to start the second half. They go down, score, make it 24-20, and we go down. We take the ball. We go down and score. We get an interception. We go up 38-20, and I'll have to send you the highlights. And if you want to watch the game, I can send you the whole game because it was a fantastic game. but you can definitely hear myself and the other two coaches that are up in the booth with me just hear us screaming and yelling in excitement for this game.
Mm-hmm.
And we score to make it 38-20. They go and score, and then we run a speed option over to the left side, houses it.
Oh, nice.
And it was got it to 45-26, and that was about 4.5 minutes left, and that was finally where it was like, yes,
this game's over.
It finally was like, yep, this game is over. And the only other way that I could describe this is similar to how I feel when Michigan and Ohio State have played the last 2 years, where it was like the game takes forever to get here. You wake up Saturday morning, it's like, and I'm a fairly early riser. So it's like I'm sitting there standing around, and it's like just 10 o'clock needs to get here. Come on, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Then it gets here, and then you chew glass for the next 4 hours. And it was like, we're going to do this. And it was similar. I texted you after the game. It was the RPO game we were running was fantastic. It was run power often.
Well, and that's fun, especially for those kids who put in the work in the summer. They see this, it's a goal. It might seem far-fetched at the beginning of the year. You don't know what it's going to take. You gotta go to a day of class, go to school, come have a good practice, go home, do your homework, do it all over again, and the hard work pays off. And now the fun begins, because you get to go to the big dome in Fargo and play at the arena, where the Bison play. It kind of takes it back for me, like when we were able to play at the Metrodome. Your goal is to get to the dome, but now you're here, but the work is not done. One more game to go, and I hope you guys can get victory on Saturday or Friday, excuse me.
But yeah, it's been just an absolutely fun ride. Happy to be a part of it, and we play Kindred, a team that's looking for their second state championship in 3 years.
Okay.
And they've got a Division I player who's committed to Minnesota. They've got some really good athletes out on the edge, really good running game. It's a really complete team, and I'm excited. It's gonna be a battle. And just really, I won't get into the game plan or anything, but biggest messages is go. Something Coach Harbaugh always tells his Michigan teams is before each game is go play as hard as you can, as fast as you can, for as long as you can, and let the chips fall where they may.
Mm-hmm. So then, question for you, Dylan. Last Friday night, what was for dinner? And then 2, will that be the team dinner this upcoming Thursday? Are you a little baseball superstition?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm superstitious. I do this more. I do this more as a tribute to a coach that I look up to and coaches my favorite college team, Coach Jim Harbaugh, who does not believe you should be eating chicken the day before or leading up to the game because it's a nervous bird. You eat that. You're going to play nervous. You're going to coach nervous. You're going to be nervous. You got to be playing confident. So, no, Grant, I did not eat any chicken on Friday. I had a nice juicy ribeye that I reverse seared. And it was delicious. I'm not really sure because we'll be going down Thursday night. It kind of just depends, but there will not be any chicken on my plate when we go and eat. Okay. If that's what you're asking, yeah, we will not. I will be avoiding the nervous bird.
I was making sure. Do me a favor. The kids, they got to be focused. They should go get a nice dinner somewhere and get in their hotel room and try to get a good night's rest. But God, what was that place on 19th Avenue North, Dillon, in the same strip mall as Grand Junction? What was that Mexican joint called? Do you remember? Because it was absolutely fantastic.
It's closed though now. I can't think of the name. Yeah, it closed like a year after we graduated.
Well, really?
Yeah.
That is, that's an absolute shame, because that was some of the best food.
But it's bugging me that I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah, I can't remember for the life of me. Because you know exactly what building it's in.
Yes,
it's next to.
But there is a Chipotle right next to the McDonald's. By that same strip mall.
Oh God, yeah. I would have been poor. Oh boy.
We had that. We had the one on South across from Shields. We still ate there. A good chunk of
Oh
our
yeah, was
most
that
of
on
most
what,
of our
40,
Sundays were like,
45th,
let's go
right?
to Chipotle. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
45th, right? Yeah. God,
Uh-huh.
I would have been real poor had that one been there by the McDonald's. I tell you what, living in Niskanen with McDonald's in your back parking lot where me and Caleb could walk to it. It's a quick 3-minute walk. Back when you could get 2 McChickens, 2 McDoubles, and a medium fry for $5.37. God, that was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh, that was great. But we now it's now we're just now we have to pay $17 for a 2 cheeseburger meal there. So
It's financially not worth it to go to McDonald's these days.
it's not.
It's
Not.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. I think it's been a couple
Especially
years
for
since the last time.
$17. If I'm spending $17 on a fast food place, I'm going somewhere where it's like I can get a little bit more bang for the buck. You know,
I mean, I'll
like
gladly.
McDonald's is good in the right sense, but
Yeah.
not for $17. Because if I'm going to McDonald's, I am picking out. I am going. People who are listening to are just going to be disgust. Look at me with disgust when they see what I order because
Yeah.
I'm just an absolute filth monster when it comes to that type of food.
And also, what could make it even worse is if the ice cream machine works.
Yeah, no kidding. Because you can never go wrong with a chocolate shake there.
No, you can't. But shoot, if I'm going to spend $17 on fast food or like just something quick in and out, hell, I'll go to Jimmy John's and I'll get 2 sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly.
That's much better than whatever McDonald's is giving me these days.
Yeah. Have you ever watched the movie, The Founder on Netflix? Have you ever seen that movie
Is
about
that
the
with
McDonald's?
Michael Keaton?
Yep.
I haven't seen that one. No.
Okay. Well, it's not even on Netflix anymore. If you have Max, it's on, or if you want to watch it with ads on Amazon Prime,
I do have Max.
It's actually pretty interesting. Michael Keaton's character kind of screws over the actual founders, but I don't want to completely spoil it. It's a really good movie. You should go watch it. Very very interesting, but kind of sad in a sense.
So as you know, Ethan listens to Christmas music before Thanksgiving. The Christmas decorations are up in Ethan's apartment. He sent me a picture the other day. So he is the reason why we will have a crazy snow day here in a couple of weeks or a couple of days. So when that happens, I now have a movie I can add to the list to watch.
Yeah, there you go. And we are past the snow, thankfully. Hopefully, it looks like we've got high 50s coming up. Beautiful weather, beautiful week to practice outside for us. Now that we
do you have a turf field you guys can go to and get
yeah,
used to
we
the
can go to
on?
So today we practiced at the college at the BAC where we actually play our home games. So we had that. We've actually been conditioning inside so they get used to running indoors because it is a little bit different. So their lungs
it's hotter.
Kind of adapt.
It's harder to play.
Yep. So we've done that. And actually, so the volleyball team is also number 1 in the state, and they have regionals up in Kildare, which is about 30 miles north. So tomorrow we are actually going to be practicing in Kildare, who also has a turf field. So there we'll have that. And we play on turf. We actually have a good number of games that we play on turf. So I that's not one thing we've really worried about. The last couple of days we've had some issues where we've had to practice later because of the field situation where we just had so much snow it couldn't get it cleared off.
Yeah.
But it was fine, and I think we're gonna practice at the Golf Dome in Bismarck on Thursday on the way to Fargo. So and then Friday it's gonna be Friday around noon Central, 11 Mountain. It's going to be go time. So it'll be similar to like in college. College, you're playing that morning first game of the day.
Yeah. No, it's better than having to wait till 7 p.m. Like,
yeah,
here in Minnesota when you got the big 6A schools where they're playing some semifinal games at 7:45 or 9:30. Back in the day when they did all the semis at their Metrodome where they're just pumping out games left and right. Well, the big guns, they get to start later, and you're just kind of sitting around all day, just anticipation's killing you. You're like, oh, we got to get going. Can this day get any slower? And then you start to overthink about some things, and when you're playing, it's a disaster. So, no, it's nice to get up and attack the day right away.
Yeah, well, and that actually happened to us in the quarterfinals. Is we actually because as far as like permitting, it's like they're supposed to be at 1:00 local time is when games are supposed to kick off. But since we share our home field with DSU, they had a game Saturday afternoon, and they'll always take priority because it's technically theirs. So we ended up we had that play that we kicked off at 6:30 at night, which was fine. We had them come. We had the kids. They came and watched a movie, kind of walked around, got some food where it wasn't where they were just all just sitting there doing nothing. Got them something where they were getting focused because it is tough. And so when we had Zach on, one of the first few times I actually reached out and talked to him is because on his podcast, The Benchwarmers, you could ask them questions, and I asked him, I was like, when NDSU would have to play night games, like what do they do during the day? And he talked about how they would have to go do like dynamic stretches and like they would be doing something just to break a sweat and keep that mind alert and focused.